The Formula One safety car is one of the most iconic and instantly recognizable elements of modern racing. For newer fans, it might seem like it has always been a staple of the sport, seamlessly swooping onto the track during dangerous moments to neutralize the pack. But the truth is, its history is full of trial and error, moments of confusion, and even controversy. What started as a messy experiment has evolved into a sophisticated system that not only safeguards drivers and marshals but also occasionally reshapes the outcome of entire championships. Understanding how the safety car developed is like tracing the journey of Formula One itself, a story of innovation sparked by tragedy, drama, and a constant push toward professionalism. The very first time Formula One officially tried a safety car was at the 1973 Canadian Grand Prix, and it quickly became clear just how unprepared the sport was for this type of intervention. After a collision involving François Sévère and Jody Scheckter in slick, treacherous conditions, a bright yellow Porsche 914 was deployed as a makeshift pace car. On paper, it was supposed to gather the field and maintain order while marshals cleared the track. In reality, it picked up the wrong leader, Howden Ganley instead of Jackie Stewart, which completely scrambled the running order. Back then, without today's GPS transponders and live timing data, race officials relied heavily on manual lap counting. The mistake threw everything into chaos, creating mass confusion that lasted until the final laps, when even the teams weren't entirely sure who had actually won. This infamous blunder left F1 hesitant about adopting a permanent safety car system for the next 2 decades. During the 70s and 80s, safety in Formula One was a patchwork system. Crashes were frequent, conditions were often brutal, and yet the idea of an organized intervention car faded into the background. Instead, red flags and race stoppages became the standard, and sometimes race stewards pressed local organizers to send out pace cars in emergencies, though these appearances were inconsistent and unofficial. For instance, at certain South American races, local cars were quickly adapted with lights and sent out to slow things down, but they lacked credibility and coordination. This was an era defined by F1 grappling with its identity, a balance between danger and spectacle. Drivers like Niki Lauda and Jackie Stewart advocated for higher safety standards, but the safety car concept itself remained stuck in limbo, with officials still viewing it as a risky and potentially confusing tactic rather than a standardized procedure. The turning point came in 1993, when Formula One finally recognized the need to modernize its safety protocols. After several high-profile accidents in the late 80s and early 90s, the FIA decided mid-season to introduce an official safety car system. The first product of this new policy looked nothing like today's fire-breathing AMG beasts. It was a humble Fiat Tempra 16V used in the Brazilian Grand Prix. Its job was to neutralize the field while track workers cleared debris and attended to car wrecks, particularly given the increasingly complex race strategies and refueling tactics of the time. Despite not having blistering speed, the Fiat introduced the simple yet revolutionary concept of controlled slow laps without stopping the race entirely. What began as a small step planted the seeds for one of the sport's most important tools of modern safety management. By 1996, Formula One had embraced a more ambitious vision. That year marked the beginning of a 3-decade-long partnership with Mercedes-Benz, who became the official provider of safety cars. Their first model, the C36 AMG, embodied raw performance and reliability, and critically, it had enough pace to comfortably lead the pack without compromising tire temperatures on the much faster F1 machinery behind it. From here on, the safety car became a consistent, polished fixture, marking not just a procedural improvement, but also a branding opportunity. Fans began to associate the gleaming silver Mercedes with high-stakes racing moments, and each new model, whether the CLK, CL55, or eventually the AMG GT, brought with it both spectacle and reassurance in moments of high tension. Throughout the late 90s and early 2000s, the safety car didn't just evolve, it became a central strategic force. Deployments often changed the entire dynamic of a race, adding layers of unpredictability. Teams worked out pit stop strategies with safety car scenarios in mind, and clever timing during neutralized laps could mean the difference between victory and disappointment. Famous examples include the rain-soaked 1999 Canadian Grand Prix, where multiple deployments tested drivers' concentration at the Wall of Champions. Other times, such as during sudden deluges at circuits like Fuji and Spa, the safety car wasn't just slowing drivers down, it was literally keeping them alive amid zero visibility and rivers of standing water. It became both a guardian angel and an unpredictable wildcard that injected drama into already chaotic races. The power of the safety car to shape outcomes also became evident in some of Formula One's most infamous controversies. Perhaps the standout example came at the 2008 Singapore Grand Prix, when Nelson Piquet Jr. crashed intentionally to bring out a safety car, a decision orchestrated by his team. The neutralization allowed Fernando Alonso, who had pitted earlier, to leapfrog the pack and win the race. While the Crashgate scandal overshadowed the triumph, it demonstrated just how decisive a safety car deployment could be in determining race outcomes. What was originally meant solely as a safety measure had now become a variable capable of turning an entire championship narrative on its head. Alongside its growing influence, the safety car itself evolved into a technological showcase. In the 2010s, Mercedes unveiled machines like the SLS AMG, roaring with V8 power, and later the AMG GTR, both capable of setting impressive lap times. These cars weren't just road cars tweaked for reliability, they were performance monsters designed to run hard laps when required. By 2021, Aston Martin joined the lineup with their Vantage sports car painted in an unmistakable British racing green. For the first time since Mercedes had taken over, there was variety, a dual supplier system that mixed brand heritage with cutting-edge performance. It reflected F1's broader push towards spectacle, marketing allure, and modernization. Yet for all their speed, safety cars continue to face criticism. Drivers today push cars that are essentially rocket ships on wheels, and slowing down too much can mean losing critical tire temperature, brake balance, and rhythm. Lewis Hamilton's remark that the Aston Martin felt slower than a turtle wasn't just an outburst, but a real frustration. Even with 500-plus horsepower, the gap compared to an F1 machine was stark. This balancing act, keeping the race neutralized but not ruining performance variables, remains one of the biggest challenges of the safety car system. Too slow and it undermines drivers, too fast and it risks safety failing altogether. By 2015, the FIA introduced a new innovation, the Virtual Safety Car, or VSC. This digital system created a middle ground, slowing every car on track to a predetermined delta time without deploying a physical safety car. It was particularly useful for smaller debris clearances and yellow flag incidents where marshals needed quick protection, but a full pack neutralization wasn't necessary. The VSC made race direction smarter and more efficient, reducing safety laps while still keeping the track environment secure. For purists, it lacked the drama of a flashing Mercedes or Aston roaring onto the track, but as a tool, it exemplified how Formula One used technology to refine its safety arsenal even further. Still, the safety car itself remains deeply entwined with race-defining moments. The 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, where the title battle between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen came down to decisions made during a safety car procedure, is perhaps the most famous modern example. Race director Michael Masi's handling of lapped cars under safety car conditions ignited a fiery debate about rules, fairness, and entertainment, altering the championship outcome in a way that is still discussed passionately today. In that moment, the safety car was no longer just a neutralizer, it was at the very center of sporting politics on a global stage. Today, the safety car stands as a testament to Formula One's evolution. What started as an experiment plagued by mistakes has become one of the sport's most polished and indispensable features. It embodies the increasing professionalism, the balance of entertainment with safety, and the never-ending modernization of racing culture. But it also reminds us why Formula One is so beloved. Once those lights start flashing and the sleek silhouette pulls onto the track, uncertainty reigns. Will strategy be upended? Will tempers flare? Will this intervention decide the fate of a Grand Prix? The safety car isn't just a mechanical guardian, it's a character in the grand narrative of Formula One.